Thanks for joining us as we talk about buying things from garage sales, thrift stores, and flea markets and reselling them on eBay for a profit. I'm John, that's Devin, and we're the Severe Thrifters. Hey everybody, we're back. Episode 15.
15? I almost forgot that episode.
Did you?
I did.
I am 2 for 2 now. You realize that? I got episode 14 correct and episode 15 correct.
2 of 15.
Yeah, not bad. Pretty bad statistically, but not bad for me.
Speaking of statistics.
What?
300 listeners. That's a lot for us.
I think it's awesome. That's downloads though, right?
Yeah,
that's not...
downloads. Yeah, that's not listeners. Sorry. Downloads. 300 downloads. That's 100 this month so far.
Wow.
Last month we had 165. This month we're already at like 120 something. And it's the 16th. So hopefully by the end of this month we'll beat last month. Hopefully we'll be at 200.
We better. I'm counting on you listeners so that we can beat this.
Please.
We want to keep scaling this upward.
It would be nice to at least get one more. 166. I'd be like, okay, we did one more than last month. So that's all that matters.
Yeah. Well, thank you, everybody, for listening and downloading. That's the important stat because we don't know how many listeners we have. We just know how many downloads there's been.
Exactly.
So it's kind of deceiving.
If you're listening, download so we know the statistic and let us know what we can do to improve the podcast. Please. Yeah. No one's really reached out and told us anything they like or don't like or the topics that they like. Topics are a big thing because we're starting to run dry. We're starting to kind of...
I have stories, guys. It's just they're not as interesting, I don't think, as some of the others.
Exactly. We got plenty of stories to talk about, but we need to figure out a main topic to discuss that episode. And if every episode we talk about a topic that you guys reach out and say, hey, this is a topic I'd like to hear about, we will talk about it.
Yeah, why not?
We loved it. We loved talking about that one episode with Michelle.
Yeah.
Talking about what was it that we talked about that episode? I'm drawing a blank now.
Oh, auctions.
Auctions, that's what it was. Yep. We loved that. I loved being able, because it felt good with her reaching back and being like, oh, like, thank you guys. Like, that was nice information. That was
super cool.
Yeah. So if you guys have any questions, please reach out. We're not pros. I'm definitely not.
I think that's the key. We're not pros here.
Yeah.
Remember, I started October 1st. So if I could possibly have a podcast about tips and tricks, I would do it. But I'm still learning just like everybody else is.
Exactly. So. But if you guys have tips and tricks, please.
Yeah, share them.
Let us know.
Yeah, there's plenty of room for tips and tricks. It's not like you're got to keep those in your back pocket so you sell more than somebody else, because all our niches are different.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
But I think...
Speaking of niches, we might as well just get the plug out of the way here and get all the YouTubes and
you want to do that
Instagrams
now?
And all that stuff.
Throwing me for a loop,
Oh,
Kevin.
I know, but at the end, you have to think, most people aren't listening till the end.
Oh, good point.
So let's just get it in there now.
Okay.
If you like our podcast and you've listened to ones before, go to Severe Thrifters on YouTube. We have videos of most of the podcasts that we're talking about. We also have this podcast and another podcast called You Know What I Hate. That's just a podcast where we rant and rave about stuff we hate.
Stupid stuff. Yeah.
And then we've got Instagram at Severe Thrifters, Instagram at Severe_Thrifters, and we also have an email, severethrifters@gmail.com. And that's Severe, SEVIER, thrifters@gmail.com.
I didn't have to do that, but he forgot eBay.
Yeah.
That's okay. You got to check out my store at severe_thrifters
and
eBay.
The best plug is I've started a YouTube channel for myself, and it's just Devin Denault. DENAULT. Simple. And it's just videos, or 2 videos, that I've just made with my camera of me doing something.
Yeah, he's just kind of learning... like what, editing and things like that, kind of toying around with stuff.
Exactly, just getting started with the camera stuff. I want to get better into learning how to edit the videos and stuff like that. And I feel like stuff like that helps me more. Like your videos, it's great to edit your videos because it's like you talking and stuff, but it's easier to edit your videos because you're talking and I could just cut it, put something else there, and it's good to go. Mine was, I didn't talk, so I had to pay attention to everything that was going on and all the distractions and stuff.
True.
Your distractions are fine because there's a bunch of people walking around. Mm-hmm. Mine was a cup of coffee. It was hard for me to make sure there was no distractions.
Well, don't give away what it is.
Well, that's all I'm saying. Cup of coffee. Just leaving it at that.
So we threw all that information in early in case some of you aren't making it to the end of our podcast. So without further ado, right? Episode 15 is underway. I guess I'll start with a story, Devin.
Okay.
Guess where I went this morning?
Bonanza.
I did do that today, but I went to an estate sale.
Oh, an estate sale.
It was weird because it was
an actual estate sale, or someone said that it was an estate sale.
It was an estate sale, but from what I gather now, the gentleman that's running it, it's in a home out in Kodak, and his wife passed away, I think, in 2019, and he's already engaged to get remarried. But he's taking all of her stuff. 2019, and he's already engaged. I don't know if that's weird or not. He moved on.
Maybe not.
Quickly.
Really quick.
So he's taking all the stuff. I believe there might have been one child. I'm not sure. I don't know the children. But he's taken it upon himself to liquidate the assets inside that estate.
Of hers or of his?
Of hers. So, but it's estate sale like you would think. You have to walk around the house, and things are on tables and on countertops and in bedrooms and stuff like that. But I went today to kind of look around because he posted some pictures on Facebook. So always be checking Facebook Marketplace every now and again and go up to the categories and it says local listings. Click on local listings and it'll show you some of the newest. Some of the stuff's old, but things going on around in your area. But so I went out there this morning, and one of the pictures, from what I could tell, they weren't great pictures. It looked like vintage Cabbage Patch dolls in boxes.
Oh, cool.
So it really, I was like, I need to go. Yeah. So I want to check that out.
How far out in Kodak was this?
It was Bryan Road.
Oh.
I turn at Swaggerty's, so I turn left and just go back there about 2 miles.
Yeah, okay.
So
not too far. Was it worth it? House. Was it worth it, though?
Well, I did bring home some stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So I felt like I did okay. I really feel like I did okay. And when I walked in, and there's no heat on in the house or anything. Oh. So I don't know if the electricity shut off. There's no lights.
Walk around with a flashlight?
Yeah, pretty much. And he's just kind of moping around. He's an older gentleman, probably. I'm sure he's retired at this point. I just went right for the Cabbage Patch. I was like, okay, where's the Cabbage Patch at? And he showed me where they were. Well, it ended up there was 2 in a box and then 1 loose. Well, the 2 in the box were, I think, 1993. So, vintage, yes, but not super old, like 1983 when the big Cabbage Patch thing was going on. Those are the ones you want to be looking for, 83.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at him, and he had 1 loose one, and I thought it was a really kind of cool Cabbage Patch. It had brown curly hair, and it had like a clown outfit on.
Outfit?
Now, this isn't fair, Devin.
I had to make...
No. You edited out last time. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. Retail arbitrage. I left
it in there.
I left it in there. It's gone.
I left it in there on purpose.
You can take out what I make fun of you for, but you leave what mine... Oh,
Go back. I left it.
Bull hockey.
I left it. If you listen to the last episode...
It's not there.
Please go through and listen to closer towards the end. I left it in there on purpose because you said that I was going to edit it out. And I didn't.
I listened to the whole thing.
I left it in there.
There's no retail arbitrage.
I left it in there.
Arbitrage has a T, Devin.
I did no cutting on the last one, other than sentences where we didn't speak for a few seconds. Mm-hmm. I promise.
You're always wanting to bust my chops.
I promise.
Why don't you do all the talking?
Hey, well, you know what they say.
No, I don't. Go ahead.
Bird in the hand's worth 2 in the bush.
What that's got to do with anything, I don't know. Sure.
Okay, so Cabbage Patch Kids, brown curly hair.
Brown curly hair, dressed in a... I just said OutFOOT, didn't I, earlier? So that's
clown outfit.
A clown outfit with the hat and everything. And I flipped his hair back because the age or the date is on the back of their head. Mm. So you got to kind of pull their hair back, and on the back you'll see the date on there. If you didn't know that about Cabbage Patch Kids, that's how you tell how old they are.
Yeah, I didn't.
Barbies are the same way. It's the back of their head.
The back of their neck, no?
Well, it's on the back of their wobble head.
Oh, okay.
And then there's also a date stamped on a Barbie that's small of their back, right above their butt crack.
Oh, tramp stamp for Barbies.
Yes, but that's for the body. Most of them will say 1966 because a lot of the bodies came out then.
Gotcha.
But the back of the head is the actual Barbie.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, and I'm glad I brought that up. That's part of today's story too.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. So I flipped the hair back on the curly clown outfit. I'm making him joke over here. I did that right as you were drinking.
I know.
Perfect timing. And it was 1983. So I was like, ooh, original Cabbage Patch. So super cool. And I'm like, well, how much you want for these? I didn't see the tag. He wanted $50 for the ones in the box. and he wanted $25 for the one that's not in a box.
Oh, so the one that was the most rare.
Yeah,
he wanted the least.
One less amount.
Hey, well,
now keep in mind some Cabbage Patch are worth a lot. The originals in boxes, like in mint shape, can go for big bucks. But the ones out of the box, I probably could get $25, $30 for it. So I mean, I was interested. I kept it because I was like, I'm going to try the bundling thing.
Oh, you got a bundle. That's how you save your money.
Yep. And so I grabbed the one that was loose. The other two, I was like, well, I don't feel comfortable with this. So as he was standing right there, I pulled my phone out and did sold comps. And I scanned the box so they have barcodes on them. And I showed them what they sold for.
Oh, you still had them in the box?
Yeah. Two of them. Yep. So I showed them. I said, well, this one here only goes for $23 and the other one went for $26.
So you're at 50.
And he wants 50 each. And I said, well, I just can't.
He wants 50 a piece.
50 a piece.
Oh, I thought you were saying like 50 for both of them.
No, 50
and then 20 for
each. 25 for the one.
Oh.
And so I was like, well, I can't do that. I said, you can see right here that they're sold. I said, but it's not a big deal. I just won't take them. And I said, I looked down and there's this tub of like Hot Wheels cars and oddball stuff. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So
a whole tub of Hot Wheels cars?
Yeah. So it was interesting, but it had a lot of oddball stuff like what's it called? Thomas the Train. That's what it is. Thomas the Train had some of that in there. What I found was a little case full of micro machines, probably 30 to 40 micro machines. Which, if y'all don't know what micro machines are, it's an age thing. Yeah. I played with them when I was little.
I was gonna say, if you're anything above 90s, if you're in the 90s baby and above, you're not gonna.
You're probably not gonna know what micro machines are. But they're think of a Hot Wheels car, but they like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids down to itty bitty size of your thumbnail.
Oh, the really short, fat ones.
Really tiny, fat ones.
Yes, I did have a couple. I had a couple of those.
Micro machines.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. He had a whole container of those. Well, at first he wanted $1 per item in that tub, like for cars, which is kind of high price because you can buy a Hot Wheels brand new car anymore for $1 or $2, can't you?
$1.
Yeah,
brand new in the box.
This guy, everything his prices were cattywampus, but I knew if I can get him in a bundle situation that I would probably be okay.
Should have Gary V'd him on the box of Hot Wheels cars, like $10.
And so I go ahead and I grabbed the micro machines because it brought back a lot of memories when I had them. So I grabbed them anyways, and I grabbed this one toy. I still don't know the name of it. It's probably more your era of toys. The cars were like flat and real wide, but they're sport car looking.
Oh, that's the one I'm talking about.
Oh, that's not a micro machine.
Oh, okay. Those are the ones I was thinking
it's like
of.
really flat, but they're really wide.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I found a car that was probably 4 inches wide by, say, 6 inches deep. And I'm like, well, this is a cool car. And it's like rattling around. I'm like, what is this thing? Well, then this thing falls out the back while he's standing right there. Falls out the back, and these cars shoot out of nowhere. Well, needless to say, I dump them all over the ground. I'm like, oh, crap. I probably bought this now.
Yeah.
And I pick them all up, and I'm like, oh, it's a carrying case for those. It was full of those flat, wide cars.
Cool.
And I think it held 9 or something of those cars, and it slid in the back of that really big car. And on the top side of it, you pull up the spoiler, and it's the handle. So it's like
cool.
I thought that was really neat. So I went ahead and I took it because I'm like, well, this is too cool.
Yeah.
I price comped it. I can get $20 for it with the cars. Well, whatever.
Yeah.
So I kept that. So I dug through and found some other oddball stuff. Nothing too crazy, but then down in the bottom was like 5 or 6 Pokemon cards. So I was like, I'll just grab them because I know nothing about Pokemon cards.
Well, I don't know much about them, but I know they have to be like in really good condition. Yeah. Same with like baseball cards.
2 were in those protective cases.
Oh, well, that's good.
So I don't know what they're worth. I'd have to look at them. I know nothing about that.
Gotcha.
Stuff, so I went ahead and grabbed it. There was a little booklet on how to play. It looked like an older style. How to play, is it Pokemon card game? Or Yu-Gi-Oh? There's a card game, and it's a book on how to play.
Well, Pokemon's a card game.
Okay.
Yu-Gi-Oh's a card.
Oh, they're 2 different types of.
Oh, yeah, they're completely different.
It was one of those 2, and it was on how to play, and it was a full booklet on it. I was like, well, that's kind of a little like pocket-sized booklet.
Never seen that. I bet that's Pokemon.
Yeah, but I grabbed it because I thought that was pretty cool. And I started getting stuff out, and I started losing my patience because more people are coming in at the point, and I haven't walked through the house yet. And here I am playing with Hot Wheels cars. I'm like, forget it. So I just threw. I just walked away from it. I already had my pile started with the micro machines and stuff. So I went. I said, "Do you have any more plush?" And he said, "Well, I pulled some new stuff out that's in the back bedroom." So I walked back there, And I've been doing, if you listen to the podcast, you'll know I've been doing pretty well with the African American dolls.
Yeah.
I've sold out of them. He happened to pull out, there's a new one. I snagged that up real quick, right? Because I've been doing really well with them. Well, right next to it is this 1963 Barbie case. Like those vinyl-y looking Barbie cases. And I'm like, well, that's interesting. So I grab it. He's not in the room because other people are in there. And I flip it open, and it's got 3 Barbies in it. One was a 1974, and another one was older than that. But it was full of outfits, vintage outfits. And it had a bag of accessories like boots, tennis rackets, all sorts. I was like, I'm taking it.
Yeah.
I didn't really even look through it. I was like, I know if there's one good outfit in there, I got my money's worth out of it. Because the outfits are expensive if you ever look into those. Like the vintage sets.
I bet the ones we have are worth some decent money.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We sold that guy for like $2 or something like that.
Cheap. Yeah, I'm kicking myself for that one. So I grabbed that. And then next to it was, and I wasn't aware of this till I got home. And Megan and Maddie are like, oh yeah, that's what this is. It was this whole case with slots in it, full of these little dolls. Probably $25, $26 in it. Little short ones. Barbies are 12. These were probably 3 or 4 inches tall.
Are those plays
called Kelly? I'd never heard of Kelly dolls.
Yes!
From what I'm told, it's like Barbie's little sister or something.
They used to have them all the time. You don't remember them having those?
No.
They used to get them in the little playhouses and everything. You could buy it. You used to be able to buy them in like a set, and they'd have like little horses, or they'd have the clothes that they were wearing were like rubbery, plasticky clothes. They weren't just like normal clothes. They were more plastic.
It had a full case, a zip-up case, had Kelly on it, full of different dolls, all with outfits and stuff. So I grabbed it. I knew nothing about it. I was like, everything else in that room is vintage. So I'm thinking, this can't be that new. Maybe it's not vintage, but I know it's not new. So I was like, I'm just going to grab it anyways. And then I look over, and there's like this luggage bag looking thing with zippers, but it's unzipped. And I look over and peek in, and it's kids' toys. I look down in it, and it's some of the original 1969 Little People buses, helicopter, tractor, mail truck. But we only ended up finding 2 of the little people, which one was a fireman and the other one was a baby. It was just amazing how many of these cars, there wasn't very many people, like I said, but there was a lot of just equipment, if you will, in there. And it was crazy. And I'm like, I really didn't dig through it. I'm telling you all this. This was after I got home. I kind of started just playing through it. I saw the 2 buses. They were 1969.
So were they all? Was it all like in a bus, or was it?
No, everything was just in that bag, just thrown in there.
Oh, okay.
The bus is only 3 or 4 inches long.
I didn't know if the bus was kind of like the car thing, where it was like a carrying case.
Oh no, it was actually part of the toy where you'd put the little people in it.
So it was just a little bus. It wasn't like a bus, and it had all these little
not
people
no carrier or anything like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, just the toy bus. And so I went ahead and just grabbed it. Again, I have no clue what the pricing is. None. I just start grabbing things because more and more people are showing up. I'm like, if I don't grab this stuff, at least if I put it in my pile, then I decide I don't want it, I could put it away, right? Yeah. And that's a good little tip for everybody if you want to do thrifting and stuff. Grab your stuff, put it in your cart before somebody else gets it, then do your price comps. And then you can put it back if you don't want it. But don't lose out on it by standing there for 20 minutes trying to price comp something. Throw it in a cart, go to a corner of the store after you shop, and then look through your stuff and just put stuff back, right? Don't stand there trying to price comp everything, because then you need a signal in 30 different areas of the store.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Just throw it all. And so that's what I did. I just started making a pile. Because guess what? If the price is too much, then I'll say, no, never mind.
Yeah.
No big deal. So I get all those dolls and stuff, and I walk out of the room, and as I'm walking by, he's got a table with some more oddball stuff on it. I'm like, what the heck? So I throw everything on my pile. I threw it on a, what do you call those? Footstools that are like padded that you'd have in your living room. But they're really long. It looks like a coffee table, but it's got a seat on it. I guess you'd still call it a footstool, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's a really big one, like the size of this table. And so I started just piling my stuff on there. And I'm getting nervous because people, as they're coming in, they're starting to look through my pile. You know what I mean? So I'm like, what the heck? So I was like, as I'm watching them, I'm looking at this table. And it's 2 banquet tables side by side along his living room wall.
Okay. And
the first thing I see was, do you remember Stuart Little?
Yeah.
They had a whole collection of little plush Stuart Little dolls. And I'm like, That hasn't been out. I mean, Stuart Little has been around for a long time, right? But it hasn't released a movie in quite some time.
Oh,
right?
Wow.
Probably when you were little.
Yeah,
right?
I think so. When I was
so it's
little.
like, yeah, well, so it's got to be maybe not vintage, but getting close.
Yeah.
I mean, right?
20 years old at least, something like that.
So I went ahead. I was like, should I price count? I said, nope. I just scooped them all up, and as I was walking away, I seen a 1984 Mickey Mouse doll. I was like, well, that's old.
Yeah.
84. And as I'm walking further, I'm like, what is that? I look down, it was like just picture your cell phone with the screen off, with no what do you want to call it? Case or anything on your cell phone. Just
is
plain
that what
Jane.
You were trying to say there?
Yeah. Shut up. Lose my train of thought here. Just laying on the table where it's just a blank screen, but you don't know it's a phone. And you're like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't understand what this could be. And so I pick it up and I flip it over, and it's a 250 gigabyte Xbox 360 external hard drive.
Oh, well, that's cool. Did you pick it up?
So I grabbed it because I don't know nothing about gaming. I don't play the stuff. I don't know anything about that stuff.
Yeah.
I am used to the Nintendo, the Super Nintendo, and the Sega Genesis.
Did it say what Xbox it was for?
360.
Okay.
And I don't think it's very valuable.
No.
But I was like, okay, I'm just going to add that to the pile because it's Xbox.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you can't go wrong with Xbox stuff normally.
And how many gigabytes was it?
250.
I mean, you'd probably get it for... I mean, a new 250 hard drive is probably around $40-50 brand new.
Oh, so I could probably get $20 for it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's not bad. And so I threw that on the pile. And I'm looking around some more. And I ended up, honestly, I found he had glassware lined up in his kitchen. And I'm looking in, and some of the glasses were just full of odds and ends. Well, I look in one of these glasses, and it was full of more Micro Machine cars. So I start picking through his glasses, pulling the Micro Machines off, and he went in the other room, and I threw him in with the other Micro Machines. I'm like, well, they're all the same darn thing.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to buy your Coca-Cola glass full of Micro Machines.
Exactly.
Weird. And a lot of that stuff was like that when I started looking through the kitchen area. It was a lot of just strange, I don't know if he just didn't know what to do with it, but then on the counter was this bag, and it was one of those old bags where it gets kind of cloudy and smoky looking, and you can't quite tell what's in it. So I start fumbling around, and it looks like, I have yet to open it, but from what it looks like, it's Micro Machine boats.
Huh. A
lot of boats, and then like miniature Transformers. One looked like a little cassette tape. Oh my God, I butchered that one.
Cassette tape?
Cassette tape? Oh, it's been a long day already, hasn't it? Cassette tape. Little tiny one.
You got it that time.
Golly. Podcasts are hard, people.
Power of editing. I'll take that one out to help your ego.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's been shattered years ago when I had you. So but it's like these miniature Transformers or GoBots. I'm not sure. I haven't opened them up, but they're really small. I'm talking size of your thumb, small.
Huh.
So I thought that was interesting. So I threw that onto the pile, where I ended up actually a pretty decent pile. Kind of, I don't want to call it the score of the estate sale because I don't think what I'm getting ready to talk about is that valuable, but I thought it was interesting, and it happened to be in that Hot Wheels tub full of cars. As I was digging through before, I pulled out this little wooden, it was probably 3 or 4 inches tall, probably 3, and it was hand carved, and it was like an old man sailor with a pipe on his mouth, and he had a sailor hat on, and it was hand carved out of wood and hand painted.
But not a Popeye.
No, just a sailor guy.
Huh.
And I was like, that's interesting. And so I start digging through, and I find another of a different, and then another, and another. I found 9 of these different carvings, all the same height. One's got like a raincoat. You see you think of a fisherman out on a boat with their yellow trench coat. Yeah, one of those. Got one guy with a peg leg. Yeah, all different figures. I kept them all, but I have not looked them up yet.
Oh,
but you can definitely tell it's hand carved because it's all one block of wood, and it's hand painted. So I'm interested in knowing if anybody's ever seen anything.
Is there any names on it or anything?
No, nothing.
Well, if you guys happen to know what they are, let us know.
I'll have to take a picture.
I have the feeling that eBay isn't going to know what it is either.
No, and you know what our best friend is, and we talked about this long ago. Google Lens.
Yeah,
that is your best friend.
Yeah.
Download that app and have it on your phone. Google Lens can be amazing for things like that.
It's crazy for a lot of things. I mean, you can take pictures of dogs, and it'll tell you the breed of the dog or what breeds it may be. And
get Google Lens. Trust me, you'll be glad that you have it.
Sponsor us, Google.
Yeah, right. We're shooting way too high here. Anybody sponsor us. Freaking A. I don't care if it's coffee grounds, something.
Oh, that'd be nice. Folgers?
Yeah, decaf though.
Well, Folgers has probably got both.
Yeah, I'm sure. But no, I can't say that it was the score of the day, but it was the most interesting find of the day. Was these 9 different hand-carved little figures. And pretty detailed. Not like a lame Jane, somebody sat in their backyard while smoking a pipe, just chopping away at a piece of wood with their little Barlow pocket knife. You know, this is well done.
Huh.
It looks really good. You can see all the scrape marks and stuff, but then it's well painted. And I was like, this is cool.
That's cool.
And it wasn't light enough to be like a repop of some sort, like you'd find at Hobby Lobby or anything like that. It was heavy enough to know it was wood.
Huh.
And the base that it stood on was still the piece of branch that they carved it from.
I wonder what it was.
Yeah. But I'll have to find out. I'll let everybody know maybe on our next podcast what I find out. But I'm anxious to take a picture of it and see what I have. It could be nothing. But they were too interesting for me to pass up. So I grabbed those 9. He ended up giving me those 9 for $10. I felt like it was a deal. They're interesting. To imagine somebody taking the time to carve that and then paint it?
Yeah.
For $1? Right? I mean, $1.20.
I wonder what they'd be.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't wait to take a picture of it and just see what...
He didn't tell you?
He didn't know. I asked him.
Oh, so he obviously didn't do it.
No, it wasn't his stuff.
Well, I know it wasn't his stuff, but they were married, weren't they?
At one point,
you would think that he would have known something about it. So I wonder if, like, maybe someone she knew carved it or if she bought it. I don't know.
I don't know. Be interesting to find out, for sure. And that's why thrifting is so much fun, I think. Doing stuff like this, because you find things that you have no clue, and then you look it up, you're either like, oh my gosh, or like, well, that was a bust.
Yeah, well, why did I pick that up?
But I don't have thousands of dollars into it. You know,
it's crazy finding that stuff, too. That's my favorite part, is like running into... That one day we were at the flea market, we found that hard hat, and I was like, but this is a $100 hard hat. And it ended up being, what, an $80 hard hat?
Yeah.
It's just crazy how, like, stuff like that could be so expensive to some people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wouldn't pay $80.
And most people walk by and are like, that's a hard hat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
To each their own, right?
Go with your gut.
Some person's junk is another person's treasure, and I was pretty pleased with the pile that I had. I did find some more Pokemon cards on a different table. It was a small stack, and some were in plastic protectors and stuff. Again, I don't know anything about them. So I bundled it all together, and he's counting and adding everything up, and I'm trying to help him because I want to be fair. I mean, I'm not looking to steal off the guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we went through each item one by one, and I ended up getting him to $75 for all of that. Mm-hmm. I feel like I did fine.
Yeah.
More than fine.
I feel like you make that back on your, whatever those things were called.
Those figures or micro machines? Or...
Well, yeah, micro machines. The ones that are old that no one knows what they are.
You mean you don't know what they are? That's not everyone.
Most people don't know what they are. Only old people do.
Oh, whatever. You stress me out. No, but I just felt like another reason to be a reseller are moments like these where you walk into a place where it's obviously a strange environment to you. You don't know. Nothing's priced.
Yeah.
And you have no clue what they're going to do. So my tip of the day is just start bundling because you can always take stuff away. And with the amount of people that are showing up, you're going to miss out on something.
Yeah. And I feel like eBay reselling is starting to get a little bit of a bigger community too. And a lot more people are starting to get into it.
Yeah.
Or at least get their feet wet. And so you're going to be running into a lot of people at places like that, especially if you're going early in the morning. We noticed that when we were doing the garage sale. Everyone that was coming was on their phone looking up every item. I mean, any time before like 11 o'clock, they were all here on their phones looking it up, trying to figure out what it was. And we had like probably 15, 20 people just trying to look stuff up. So I feel like if you're out early in the morning, which is the only time to go in my opinion, because if you go later, everything is going to be gone.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a lot of people that show up, and they're all going to be looking at this exact same stuff you're looking for. They don't care about the Coke glasses as much as they care about the Cabbage Patch Kids.
Yeah, right.
So,
I don't know. And that's probably, I get asked this question a lot. It's like, what do you think the next trend's going to be? There is no such thing. There's a buyer for everything.
Yeah.
And maybe right now there's more buyers for certain things, but the pattern I'm seeing is it kind of goes in, what's the word I'm looking for? Generational thing. Like family generational. Like right now it seems what's hot seems to be the stuff that as I was a kid are the things that I played with.
Well, I mean, that makes sense though, because I mean, when I get to your age, right, I'll be looking and be like, oh wow, like that's cool. Like that, I remember that from when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. And like right now, I have no reason to buy stuff from when I was a kid because I feel like that wasn't long ago for me.
Right.
But for you, it feels like it was longer ago.
Yeah.
Right. So it makes sense. Like,
and I think a lot of it might have to do with when you start to hit certain age, you become more empty nesters. The kids are growing up.
Yeah.
Graduating from high school, doing their own thing, whether in college or on their own, and you want to get back to, I don't know, your childhood a little bit. You remember those times. You start to buy more. So I think that it comes full circle for everybody.
Well, tip of the day for me is if you miss someone, make a podcast with them.
Yeah, it works. I'm telling you.
I mean, you gotta think we've spent at least 15 hours together making these podcasts. So,
and there has not been one podcast where I haven't been made fun of yet.
No, that's not true at all.
Oh, whatever.
That's not true. The first episode, I did most of the talking.
You did on the first episode? Well, yeah, I don't even remember.
It was the episode about how I got into eBay reselling.
That's right. You lucky dog, you.
So you didn't get made fun of that episode. Actually, true. You may have. I don't know.
Did. It's okay. Hey, we do this to each other all the time, so it's no big deal. Really, it isn't. I will go home and sleep like I normally do.
He was going to get made fun of the clown, what'd you say?
Foot. It's a suit. Oh, suit. No, what did I say? Soot?
Did you say? No, you said foot.
Because I was going to say clown outfit.
Outfoot.
That's what it is. Clown outfoot.
I would make fun of him regardless. Whether there's a podcast going on or not.
Jerk.
We could have been in the middle of Walmart. He wasn't letting that one down.
Jerk. Can't stand you. Where's your parents?
Retail. What did I say?
You called it retail arbitrage.
Arbitrage. Well, I'm going in there buying a bunch of stuff. I'm arbitraging it.
It's not even a word.
Yeah, it is. Look it up. It's when you go inside. Your word. It's when you go inside a store and buy a bunch of stuff. It's arbitrage.
A barrage of
buying things
of the letter R.
I'm just in there throwing R's at people.
What are you doing? It's arbitrage. So stupid. Where are we going with this?
I think we're about ready to wrap it up on that.
We're getting the tired giggles now. Huh?
Holy Lord.
Well. Anywho, that's my story. The estate sale was cool. I did find it became more of a doll toy day. I didn't buy anything else that was more, nothing more than dolls or toys. But sometimes that's the way.
Seems to sell the best. I mean,
and I think that you have to be open to that stuff. Be open-minded to the things that you buy. Yes, you're going to have a niche. Yes, there's going to be things that you know more about. But don't be closed-minded to those oddball things or to things that you'd like to learn a little bit more about, especially if you can bundle and get a good deal. Because here's the thing. If I screwed up on all of that, I'm still only out $75. And that knowledge that I'm going to learn off all of that stuff is well worth more than $75.
Yeah, now you'll never spend a dime on that stuff again.
Exactly.
If you're listening to this and all you do is clothes, work your way out of clothes. You could do a lot more.
Yeah.
You can do all, because if you're doing clothes, you already have your store set up.
Mm-hmm.
You already know how to take pictures, how to post. Work your way out. Go to the thrift store and
thoroughly enjoy just clothes.
Just clothes, but I feel like most people enjoy money.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think a lot of people like money.
If you like the money from clothes, you should try the money from electronics.
Yeah, there's a lot in that. So. And there was an electronic there. We won't go into the story, but I did not buy it. He just wouldn't come off of it. I showed him the sold comps were, and he still wouldn't come down. It was a German-made vintage stereo. Really cool-looking thing. Very cool. I wanted it, but he wanted $60.
Oh.
And after that last ordeal where mine got returned,
I
was like, no thanks.
Not again.
I told him, too. I said, I wouldn't go past $20. I said, because I don't know when this thing is going to break. So we won't get into that. I think that we're going to wrap this up. I hope you all enjoyed what you heard, especially all my mess ups and my Devin making fun of me for it. Thanks a lot, bud.
You're welcome.
We already plugged everything at the beginning.
We did.
I think we can just sign off. Thank you all for listening.
Yes,
please download.
Yeah.
Press the download button. Please. Those are the stats that we get information on. We don't know how many listeners we have unless we hit or unless you download it. So please download it. It's free. It doesn't cost anything to download. I said cost.
I didn't even catch
I
that
must
one.
be done here.
Yeah.
But thank you all for listening. I'm John.
I'm Devin.
And we're the Severe Thrifters.